everyone, welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Nina. I'm a life transformation coach, and here at this channel we talk all about mental health, personal development, and understanding our own psychology. So if you're not already a subscriber, please go ahead and become one. We definitely want you to stay connected. Do people often tell you that you're too sensitive or that you feel things too deeply? If so, it might simply be the case that you are what's referred to as a highly sensitive person, and that's definitely not something that should be thought of as a criticism. Recently, I've gotten a lot of requests asking if I could talk about what that really means and how to determine whether or not you are one yourself. So if we're going by the dictionary definition, a highly sensitive person, or HSP, is a term for those who are thought to have an increased or deeper central nervous system sensitivity to physical, emotional, or social stimuli. So it's not a condition or a disorder, but rather is a personality trait, and one that's not as rare as you might think. In fact, it is estimated that about 15 to 20% of the population could be described as highly sensitive people. People with this trait often have rich and complex inner worlds, but can be easily overwhelmed by the busy world around them. Sometimes this trait is negatively characterized because of that sensitivity, but in reality, just like any personality traits, there's going to be strengths and there's going to be challenges. So for example, as we talked about, people with this trait tend to get overwhelmed very easily, which we could think of as a negative, but the positives might be that they are very creative, that they're very empathetic, and that they are incredibly observant. But I think there's a lot of confusion and a lot of misunderstanding about the topic, because I think the term highly sensitive person has become almost like a buzzword that gets, tossed around a lot without a great understanding of what it is. So today I wanted to talk about the 4 science-based traits that really define being a highly sensitive person. Now, I do want to mention that this research was originally documented by Dr. Elaine Aron, who started studying sensitivity in about 1991 and still is to this day. But since then, the concept has been verified and expanded on by many other researchers as well. Dr. Aron really focuses on 4 specific traits, so I wanted to go ahead and summarize her explanations of them and see if any of these ring a bell for you. And if so, it is very likely that you yourself are a highly sensitive person. The traits of HSP are sometimes represented by the acronym DOES, which stands for D for depth of processing, O for overstimulation, E for emotional reactivity, and E for empathy, and S for sensitivity to subtleties. The first is depth of processing. This is a tendency to process information more deeply, to relate and compare what we notice around us to our past experiences and to other similar things. This is why highly sensitive people tend to have such good intuition. They're able to really see beyond the facade and see things for how they really are. They are simply more aware of what's going on both internally and externally than other people. The second is overstimulation. We can think of this as the overwhelm that happens when we notice every little thing in a situation, especially if it's complicated, intense, noisy, or cluttered. It really makes sense that we would wear out more quickly because we are simply taking more in, we're processing more information, we're noticing more things, so we get overwhelmed faster, whereas someone who is less sensitive or is less observant, they're not noticing as much, so they are not going to get overwhelmed as quickly. Highly sensitive people are often quite stressed by overstimulation, including overwhelming social stimulation, so they tend to want to avoid social situations that they know are going to be too much for them. The third is emotional reactivity and empathy. Highly sensitive people have stronger reactions to both positive and negative experiences, but even more pronounced in relation to positive experiences. Positive reactions tend to put them in a very helpful emotional state, which makes it easier for them to think clearly and to be creative, whereas negative reactions tend to make it very difficult for them to function. They prefer to be in very specific environments where they can control their surroundings and create the atmosphere that they need. In terms of empathy, highly sensitive people are simply more aware of the emotions of others, more sensitive to their needs, and feel driven to be helpful. They have an easier time relating to other people and even understanding what they might be feeling or thinking. And the fourth is sensitivity to subtleties. Highly sensitive people pick up on subtle cues, connections, details, or even stimuli that other people might miss. A lot of times they can even notice the smallest, most delicate smells, tastes, and sounds that other people aren't even aware of. And they often are very appreciative of great works of art or great works of music because they can really spot the nuances. They really appreciate it on a whole nother level. And this is really because their brain processes more information and really reflects on it more deeply. So those are the 4 science-based traits that are associated with being a highly sensitive person. And I am so curious, did any of these traits seem to ring a bell for you, or any of these familiar? Please let me know in the comments below, because the case may be that you indeed are a highly sensitive person. And if you're really not sure, do not worry. You can hop on over to Dr. Erin's website, which is hsperson.com. She's got a fantastic quiz that you can take there to help you determine whether or not this is the case for you. So as always, I truly hope that you found today's video helpful and interesting. If you did, please like it and share it. And do become a subscriber if you aren't one already. We definitely want you to stay connected. And I hope the rest of your day is extraordinary.